Hi, I'm doing the video log as promised. Right. You asked me some questions and I've written some notes. Right, you asked me why I was told I was going to die. Right. Well, there was a few reasons really why that was happening. I mean, don't let it scare you. It wasn't directly because of the ME. I mean, obviously it was a consequence, but basically I didn't know the ins and outs of having ME, or chronic fatigue syndrome, whatever you want to call it. I moved into a new house, which, unbeknown to me at the time, it had cavity wall fillings, and that has formaldehyde in it. Now, I didn't know that this would have a derogatory effect on someone with a nervous system and just someone like me. So that was affecting me the minute I moved to this place. I mean, I moved out to this sort of rural edge of a town because I thought it would make me better, but by doing that I lived near a park and ride which was giving off lead and cadmium poisoning from the bus and the cars that were pulling in. I had a road on the other side, I had a field on another side, which, you know, all times of the year farmers spray crops and things like that, and on the other side I had a phone mast, and I didn't realise the effects of those at the time either. Ended up where after a few months I literally lost my motor functions. I couldn't see properly, I couldn't walk, I was bumping into things, and I was just in such a state. And of course, I mean, I didn't really know what was going on. I started to have foods that I'd eaten for a long time was suddenly making me really ill. Just things like cheese and wheat and that sort of thing, and I was just slowly, I was dying. So by the time I ended up getting to the doctor, when I was tested, I mean, I was so full of lead, it was unbelievable. I couldn't see, I couldn't take myself to the toilet. I had a nurse coming in to help me wash, and I couldn't even get up and down the stairs. I was on the sofa most of the time. And this is, I mean, what's really spurred me into my book, which is called Stop Me Dieting. But I mean, essentially it's not about the diet, it's about the ME and what's happened to me. It's just I put the dieting in because a part of going through this, I found a diet which helped me. So I mean, I've got a lot of stick from people who are saying, oh, it's a fad diet and this and that. Essentially, the book isn't actually about the diet, it's about the ME. I think, what other questions did you ask? Yeah, why couldn't I walk? Well, basically, you can imagine the state I was in. I just ended up getting worse and worse and worse, and I couldn't move. I mean, it was just a complete nightmare. But yeah, the doctor did actually say to me, if you don't move from this house, you were going to die. So obviously I sort of very quickly I moved. I couldn't move out sort of that day for obvious reasons, you know, I had to sell the house and what have you, but I did go and stay somewhere else pretty much straight away. And well, within the week of actually moving out of the house, I began to sort of lose the ferociousness of the effects that I was having. So I mean, it's just so important to take care of yourself. I mean, as soon as you know you've got this thing, don't let it take hold of you, because all these other things start cropping up. And if you don't eat properly, if you don't rest properly, I mean, there's people that have ended up in wheelchairs because of this. And I've had it for most of my life, and it's been an intermittent thing, sometimes not very strong. But sometimes it comes with a vengeance, and it just takes me out. And, you know, you're in bed for weeks on end. It's just a complete nightmare. You asked me some other questions about dieting. Well, I'm not a qualified doctor, but going on what I believe, you said the doctor had put you on a protein, like a whey-based milkshake or something like that. Well, I mean, that might suit you, that might be fine, but I think that because whey is a derivative of milk, I mean, like lactose, it's mucus forming, and when you get a cold, for example, if you've got more mucus in your body, it's more for the cold germs to hang on to. So just bear that in mind, or even go to the GP and have it out with him and say, well, what do you think of that? Because, well, that's just what I think about it. But as I say, I'm not a doctor, but it just, you know, if you read any medical book, it will tell you that. And just the rest of the message, really, I don't want you to be freaked out by it. I don't want you to think that you're never going to get well. I do have an extreme case of it, but I did cane my body quite badly when I was young. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I did do drugs and things that I shouldn't have done. I've been sort of clean and out of that environment for over a decade, but still aspects of your life do come back to haunt you. But I hope I've answered some questions. If you've got any more, please do get in touch. Bye bye.